Alright, today we're talking about the CF Moto 800 MT Sport, and we've had a bit of a flurry of Royal Enfield content on the channel. This channel isn't kind of a formal review channel, it's mainly stuff I like, and I like... That was a car. That's a car that just, hopefully you picked that up. That sounded like a Ferrari, a Lamborghini V10 or something. So yeah, anyway, got distracted. The stuff I like on this channel is retro stuff and basically stuff that's entry level in the market. I rarely feature any bike on here over 10 grand. And that's because I don't want to put too much money into a bike. I love bargains. I love that feeling that you've got a lot for your money. And so typically I'm drawn to, there it is again. He's really giving it some. That honestly sounded like V10. I've never heard anything sound like that. That's not even maybe it's a V8. Anyway, sorry, got distracted. Susie can comment down here and say what car that was, because Susie's actually the expert on cars, not me. But anyway, the bikes we feature a lot of are Royal Enfields, CFs. We sometimes put a bit of Zontes in, just because they're the ones that offer a lot for the money, and as an experience, you pay a little bit of money and off you go. You can be commuting, zipping through traffic. It's like you can be exploring, you can be riding fast if you want to on some of these CF naked bikes. Like there's kind of a lot you can do with a little bit of money with motorcycling. It doesn't have to be horribly expensive. And so this particular bike, the 800 MT Sport, is 6,799, which if you think about it is 4 of these for an optioned up GS 1300. They just released the Adventure, which is a little bit more money, but the standard GS I think starts at 18. So 6 threes, yeah, so basically it's 3 of these for a no option GS, and every GS comes out of the showroom with the customer ticking a load of boxes, because that's how the sales model works. So in real terms, it's over 3 of these bikes for a GS 1300. Now there'll be people out there go, oh yeah, but 147 horsepower versus 95. I've got hill assist and suspension that goes up and down and telelever, you know, I don't dip under braking. I've got heated everything. That's true. You do have more on the GS 1300, but would you rather have that? Think of the comparison. Just one of you on a 1300 GS, or you with 3 mates going on a tour down to the south of Spain. And you could even share 4 people in the bunk on the ferry. It's like, it's actually made for this bike. So that's the kind of value proposition, and that's why I'm interested in this bike, and I want to feature it on the channel because I think it offers a lot. Now it's not retro charm, so if you are interested in the Royal Enfields and the BSAs, perhaps this isn't the video for you. But if you're someone who thinks I don't want to invest loads and I want a full-sized adventure bike, then this is probably something that should be on your shortlist. Let's talk about CF Moto in general before we talk about the 800 MT. Now, CF stock is on the up and up. There's the 450 MT, the 650/700 MT, and the 800 MT in the adventure bike range. The 450 MT is the darling of the small adventure bike market. It seems to be a bike that has got pre-orders from everywhere. The YouTubers who've promoted and featured the 450 MT, their views are off the chart. Rest Day Rider actually got the first 450 MT in the country. She did an unboxing video for her first ride on her bike. She loves it and she went for it over a Himalayan 450. Quite interesting, isn't it? Nathan the Postman, who is basically the authority on small capacity adventure bikes, he went for a 450 MT, bought it without riding it, got it delivered, and he's got in his fleet both Himalayans, the 411 and the 450. Doesn't really like the 450, to be honest. He's got the Triumph 400X Scrambler, which he likes, says the engine's good on that. He's got the 310 GS, the 390 KTM. Basically all those small capacity bikes. He's got the Honda 300L Rally, that like kind of enduro looking bike. He's got all that. He rides on trails, he's good at it, and he says, wait for it, 450 MT is a unicorn bike, which I actually couldn't believe. That's a bold statement, but he can actually ride on trails and green lanes and actually ride off-road properly, unlike me and actually many other YouTubers. So that 450 MT is honestly punching through this whole Chinese bikes aren't very good. It's got something special about it. If you go on the 700 MT and 650 MT owners group, it's packed full of people. And also the 800 MT, that's also starting to come, people look again behind it. The Bingley Wheelers, he's got one, he features it as his channel bike. I'll have to go and look at his channel. I'm really sorry, Dave, I haven't watched to know exactly which version of the 800 MT you bought. Did you buy the Explore or the Sport? So I featured the Explore before, but today we're talking about the Sport. So generally, people are getting behind CF. And remember, I made that video where I said the 3 Chinese brands I would look out for are Zontes, Vosges and CF. And it seems like CF's now pushing a little bit above the other 2 brands. I featured the CF 800 MT Explorer on the channel before. I basically went through and said the amount of stuff you get for the money, because it was 9,299. So 9.3 it was, new, 4 years warranty. The whole relationship with KTM is distributed by KTM. Part supply is guaranteed by the KTM parent company. You got the KTM engine, you know, remember that KTM 790 Adventure is built in the same factory as this by CF. It's got the Kirchger styling, the Austrian styling, whatever it's. Someone will write in the comments, the style house that does KTMs also does this bike. But it was the equipment level. It was the equipment level that really made me sit up and look at the 800 MT. And let's just get it out there. I wouldn't buy this bike because it's an adventure bike and I'm all into my single cylinder retros. So it's not actually a bike I would buy, but I still can appreciate what it offers and what it would offer somebody else who was willing to go ahead and invest in this type of bike. And it was the equipment level. You got a TFT, an adjustable windscreen, and then you had on the Explorer version, let's just start from the back and work backwards, start from the front and work backwards. You had built-in fog lights, you had included crash protection, didn't cost extra. You had the cruise control, you had heated grips, the heated seat, full aluminium box panniers, which is mental at that price. Quick shifter, don't think it had auto blipper, but it's up-down quick shifter. Fully adjustable front forks and fully adjustable rear shock, wire wheels for the kind of off-road look. I don't know if it had a 21-inch or 19-inch front wheel, but regardless, it had the wire spoke wheels, which were tubeless, tyre pressure monitoring. It had a whole load of stuff for the money, so that was 9,200. What CF have done now is they've kind of stripped the stuff which some people wouldn't want out of that bike and released it as the CF Moto 800 MT Sport. So I'll tell you first what they've removed. They've removed the heated grips, the heated seat, the up-down quick shifter and the luggage. What they've kept is the adjustable windscreen, the fancy TFT, the ride modes, the fog lights, the built-in crash protection, the cruise control. That's a big one to keep on this type of bike. They kept the cruise control for 6,800 quid. Got rid of the heated seat and they got, did I say that? Got rid of the luggage. And they've also got rid of the wire spoke wheels, got cast wheels, 19-inch wheel at the front, and it's wrapped in Maxxis Adventure X Max Venture MA1. Somebody went a little bit cross with me in the comments because I forgot what the tyres were on the CF Moto 650 MT, and they said they thumbs down the video, and I was like, oh, really sorry, this isn't a formal review channel, we just ride bikes that we like and are good value. And so I've remembered this time, they're Maxxis tyres, 17 on the rear. Let me just confirm that, yeah. 150, 70, 17, which is a very common size, so you could put off-road tyres on there if you wanted. And then you got 19 at the front, so basically any tyre you want, you've got a full range of choice. I actually quite like the tyres on here because they look like they're a road compound. They're fairly soft, which for me is a little bit of a giveaway. If the rubber's quite soft, you know it'll grip when you lean the bike over. But they've also got this like pattern, so it's like kind of a nod to being adventurous, whilst you've got that road holding and you've got a nice size of tyres. You've got some other things which lend itself a little bit towards adventuring, like your removable rubber pegs there. Removable rubber, yeah, the insert and the pegs. High up exhaust here. Got the option for all sorts of panniers, soft. Got the top rocks. this isn't going very well, is it? The top box rack here, which is quite nice. You could strap anything to that. And when you get on this bike, which I'll do now, see, look at me when I sit on it. Or I should say, look at me when I sit in it. And I might have just chopped my head off the frame, but if you can still hear me, we're doing all right. So you sit upright. It's a proper adventure bike. You're in it. You've got the proper wind protection with a screen that can go up and down. 2 USB ports, or one 12-volt accessory port, and then we've got one which has got 2 USB type A's in there. Got the cruise control, mirrors that you can see everything out of, which is nice. The adjustable suspension, big tank, big fairing. That's kind of nice if you're doing big miles, because you've got a lot of protection to the body, and then you've got the screen. And weirdly, I sat on the 450 MT, and that is also a full-sized adventure bike. And so is the 650 MT. So it's like that as you go to the smaller engine sizes, the actual proportions of the bike remain the same. Now the weight does go down, admittedly. The 450 MT is, I think, 195 fueled, a little bit under 200 kilos. This is probably about 220. I'll put it down in the bottom. So it's more, but the proportions of these bikes doesn't really change between the engine sizes, which is something interesting. So if you want the proper big bike, then any of the CFs will kind of work for you. You have got rider modes. You've got this little switch here for the fog lights. It's kind of cool, to be honest. Probably very comfortable for the pillion. Susie isn't here today, unfortunately, but you've got nice comfortable pads. You've got the big hand guards there, and you've even got rubber inserts on the not that a pillion would come with you off-road, but you've even got rubber inserts on there. So let's wait for Dave. Hopefully Dave watches this. Dave, if you do watch this video of the Bingley Wheeler, please do chuck a comment just to say what your experience of actually owning the CF Moto is. But now what we'll do is we'll just have a little bit of we'll finish this intro and we'll have a little bit of a walk round just to show you guys the bike. But other than that, I want to say, let me know what you think of it, and also let me know what you'd like me to talk about in the test ride. I'm not going to ride it today, but if you've got any questions about it, you're like, oh, okay, this bike's 6,800 quid. Am I interested in it as perhaps as a touring bike? Remember, you've got a 95 horsepower motor there, 800cc twin. You got cruise control, so you could potentially do a lot on it. And this is this problem with reviewing bikes. I end up talking myself into something, but I do get in this thing where I end up talking myself into a bike purchase. But I'm not going to do that here. We're just going to review it and review it objectively. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll just do some B-roll around the bike. Let me know if you've got any questions about it, and I'll do a follow-up video on which addresses really what it's like to actually ride.